Well, hello there. Welcome back to Anthrovox. This is Joe. These are some of my thoughts as an anthropologist. Uh, Today, I kind of want to talk about a couple of different things, but something that one of my professors, um, one of my mentors, taught me about. And it's this idea of um, truth and fact, and how truth and facts are generally and can oftentimes be not the same thing. And I think it's important for us to understand that truth and facts don't have to necessarily be the same thing. And what do I mean by that? Well, a fact is something that, let's just take gravity, right? Gravity as a fact. We can prove gravity all the time. Everywhere we go, we experience gravity. Why? Because we're not flying off into space. And we have um, the science to explain it, to tell us that this is how it works. And anywhere we go in the universe, gravity's probably going to work. That's a fact, right? Truth, on the other hand, can be a little bit more um, based on perception, right? And this is an important thing to remember. It's that while someone's truth might not necessarily be um, overburdened with fact, it is, however, not deceitful. And I think that's important to remember, is that um, somebody's truth that they're experiencing, that this is what they see, this is what they have lived, is worth um, sort of like worth, acknowledgement, worth um, understanding and appreciating. You don't have to share it, right? It doesn't have to be the same thing that you believe in. But as an anthropologist, we are oftentimes looking for people's truths. What do they believe in? Why do they believe in these particular things? And if we do that, then we can um, get to know them better without having to say that they're right or they're wrong, right? And we oftentimes find truth, as an example, in religion, right? You have a religious belief, whether you're Hindu or Buddhist or shamanistic, if you believe in Wicca or Christianity, right? That you believe that this is how you interact with the world. This is how your universe has been created. You know how it's going to end, and you know your place in it. And that is your truth. But other people don't share that same truth. Other people have their own experiences, their own expectations, all of those things that help determine their lives, right? And so for us as anthropologists, we are oftentimes looking for those truths to try and understand. And we oftentimes have to deal with ideas like bias, right? Um, I might not share the same belief that you might have, and that's okay. And I think that's something that, in general, as a society, we sort of need to deal with much more on a regular basis. The fact that not everyone is going to share the same beliefs, not everyone is going to practice those things, but it doesn't mean that they're wrong or that they're a bad person, right? It just means that they have a different way of looking at the world. And if we can learn to sort of appreciate those differences, those different truths, then we might be a lot happier and a lot more willing to overlook the little things and move forward in life and be kinder to each other. So I think that's kind of an important thing to consider, the difference between truth and fact. Fact is something that is an absolute, something that we know happened, and the truth is something that we oftentimes live, but it's a perception as well. Another example would be looking at, say you take two different people, and they watch an event take place, or they're looking at a mountain. And so let's say they're looking at this mountain, and this one person is looking at it from the west side, and the other person is looking at it from the south side. Well, they both see the same mountain, but they're seeing different faces of that mountain. They're seeing different attributes to that mountain. Maybe that mountain from the west side is long and has this broad scape that you're looking at, but if you're looking at it from the south side, it's skinny, because the way that the mountain was formed, it's a long, skinny mountain. But how you perceive that mountain might influence your perception about reality, right? If all you ever saw was that one face of the mountain, how would you then change your mind if you saw a different face? How would that change your perception, change your truth? What if you never saw the other side of that mountain? Does it make it any less real, any less of a fact that that mountain is there if you only see it from one side? This can also take place in politics, right? We can go back to the January 6th, where you had one perception of the Democrats that said that this was a riot, they attacked the Capitol, all the people there should be put in a jail, and it was the conservatives trying to overthrow the government. And then you look at the government, or the conservative side, and the conservatives are like, well, wait a second, we thought that this was a real danger, that the election was being stolen, that we were fighting for our country, for doing all the things. This is what we were told. These are two objective truths. This is what one side said. This is what the other side said, and they believe in both, that they are both in the right. If we look at the facts, we can say that, yeah, there was violence, and we have record of that, but not everyone there was doing the violence. So when we try and come up with the facts of an event, we have to take a look at all of the truths, all of the things that have been said, all the things that were experienced, and find the fact of that event, right? January 6th happened. There were two sides that perceived what was going on. And how do we come to a middle place to actually understand what actually happened? Same way with looking at that mountain. So it's important for us to consider facts and truths and realize they're not the same. And we have to respect both. And if we can understand all the different truths that are out there, we'll land somewhere on that fact. Okay, that's it. Those are my thoughts for the moment. Take it easy. Adios.